Hello everyone, hope you are all safe and well, and welcome to this program, Read Your Bible Through in a Year. And we are on the 13th day. Today we will be reading chapters 31 and 32 from the book of Genesis, and in Gospel of Matthew we will read chapter 9 verses 18 through to 38. Thank you very much for tuning into my channel. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do subscribe, and also don't forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notifications. Also don't forget to share this link with your friends and family so they are blessed as well. We have been getting lots of comments, and it has been a blessing for them, and thank you very much for all these encouraging comments. So let's go straight into today's devotions. We will be reading chapters 31 and 32 from the book of Genesis. So now these two chapters are very important in the book of in the life of Jacob. Now we already read in chapters 29 and 30, that is yesterday's readings, that Jacob arrives in Padan Aram and he meets Rachel, and he marries Rachel and Leah. And in 30 we read the 12 sons of Jacob, and also we read how Jacob inherits a lot of flocks and he becomes really wealthy. Now in chapter 31 there is a twist in Jacob's story. We already knew that Jacob flees from his parents because Esau had a grudge against him for stealing his blessings, which was meant to be for Esau, but Jacob supplants and gets the blessing, and also he steals the blessing, the birthright from Esau over stew. Now we have read all these things. Now we know all this time Jacob had been a real deceiver, and this is the last time he's going to deceive by fleeing Laban. Now he comes to know in chapter 31, he comes to know that his attitude, or his Laban's attitude towards Jacob, is not the same as how it used to be. Now it's almost 20 years that Jacob spends in his father-in-law's house, father-in-law Laban's house. Now he flees Laban by actually deceiving Laban. He didn't say anything, and he just flees, taking with him Rachel, Leah, his children, his flocks, and everything. Remember also, Rachel steals the household gods, and they all flee. Now there's a lot of difference between the Jacob who fled his parents, Isaac and Rebekah, and the Jacob who's fleeing now his father-in-law. Now there he didn't talk anything. He doesn't talk against Isaac or Rebekah, because it is Rebekah who suggested to Isaac that Jacob leaves so he can find a girl in her brother's place. Now here, if you read, this is the character. Over 20 years there is a drastic change in the spiritual life of Jacob. Now when he flees, Laban comes to know that, and he overtakes him in the valley of the country of Gilead. Gilead, you can call it, or Gilead, because it's a place name. So Laban overtakes him and he encounters him. He argues with him, why did you flee from me? Because these are my children, grandchildren, and you should have told me, and I would have kissed you goodbye, blah blah, etc. And Jacob tells him, no, I was afraid that you will take your daughters and my kids, so that's why I just fled from you. Now, and also he explains, now here this is what the difference. The Jacob now for this 20 years he has been working hard. 7 years for 7 years. First 7 years he was going to get married to Rachel, but what happened is his father-in-law changes her to Leah, and he had to work another 7 years to get married to Rachel, another 6 years to get all this folk. So altogether 20 years. So he explains all these things, and Jacob says, over this 20 years, you changed my wages 10 times. So all these encounters. Now, he's a changed person. He doesn't deceive anyone. Of course, he deceived by fleeing Laban, but in his work, he has never deceived. And that is why he was able to stand up for himself and defend the cause why he is fleeing Laban. Now Laban kisses him goodbye, and in 32 chapter is very, very important. Now he prepares to meet Esau. As I told you already, even though Lord approves of the lineage of Jacob, but he did not approve of the conduct of Jacob, because he deceived by getting the birthright and the blessings from his brother. So because of this, he had to flee his parents. He's not going to see his mom again. Jacob was his mommy's boy, and he's not going to see that. Now all these 20 years he was hiding. Basically, he didn't go to get married to Rachel. The main idea behind Rebecca sending Jacob to Laban is to keep him away from Esau's grudge. Now, here Jacob struggles with a stranger. He struggles the whole night, but the stranger is not able to fight Jacob. He was not able to defeat. That shows that it's a spiritual, it's a climatic point in Jacob's growth. So what he tries to prove in this 20 years is he can stand for himself without deceiving, without cheating. Now here this fight is a proof right from the chapters 28, 10 to 22, when he flew from when he left his house, where he had a dream. So that's what we read in chapter 28. So you can go back and read. Chapter 28 is where he left his parents, and on his way he has a dream, blah blah. That is chapter 28. Now, from the chapter 28 till he meets Rachel and gets married, to this day when he fled from his father-in-law Laban, he has been working hard. There is a tremendous spiritual growth. The fight here represents that he cannot be defeated. Spiritually, he is strong. Now, that is why when he asks for a blessing, the stranger gives the name Israel. So the Israel means struggle with God. Now, spiritually, he can understand Jacob is a changed person. Spiritually, he's strong now. He knows he can stand for himself without deceiving. So that is he was a different man. I'm just reading the notes I've written. He was a different man than the one who had supported his brother, who supplanted his brother through deceit. Therefore, God gave him a new name of Israel, which means he struggles with God. So the fight. Now, he is planning in the next chapter. We will be reading about how he's going to meet his brother. So now there's a change in Jacob's life, that he's changed spiritually. As I told you in the introduction about Jacob, I was telling about that towards the end of his life he was a changed person, because during these years he had a spiritual change, a lot of spiritual change, which was very, very important. That's why he was able to defend his cause, why he fled his father-in-law Laban, and that is from the Old Testament for today. And in the New Testament we read, as I said, chapter 9 verses 18 through to 38 from the Gospel according to Matthew. Now, there's the miracles continue. The miracles of what he did. Now, in the previous verses, we saw the disciples of John questioning the fasting, why the disciples fast and Jesus' disciples don't fast, etc. Now, Jesus heals a dead girl and women with a flow of blood, even though we read much detail in Luke's gospel, but here it's a shorter version of the woman has a flow. Now you can read that. And ruler. So just a woman had been subject to bleeding for 12 years, came up and touched. Of course, you have this verse, this miracle told in very descriptive way in the Gospel of Luke. So you will read that in the later stage. But here it's a very gist of the miracle, and also, as you know, he was going to raise a dead girl, and on the way this miracle happens. And also he heals a blind and a mute person. And now again, as I told you, all the miracles depend on the faith. So Jesus can activate the miracles only basing on your faith. Even when he heals the woman with a flow of blood for 12 years, he says, take heart, daughter, your faith has healed you. So again, it was the faith. So he touched the hem of the garment and she was healed. Again here, do you believe? In verses 28, Jesus asks him, do you believe that I'm able to do this? So the miracle can be activated only if you believe that Jesus can heal you. So again, according to your faith will it be done to you. So what the miracle is going to happen depends on the level of faith you have. Only on basis you can activate your miracle. Again, Jesus is going to preach and sees lots of people follow him, and he says, oh, there are so many people, but the workers are very few. Pray for the God of harvest to send many workers so that the harvest can be done. So he doesn't mean the harvest, but he means the spiritual harvest. He needs many people. There are so many people who are sick and who are diseased and everything. So he needed that's what he was trying to talk about. So this final verses of chapter 9 describes again why the faith is important for the miracle. So with that, we end today's devotion, and thanks for watching this. As I told you at the beginning, don't forget to subscribe for this channel and also click the bell icon so you get all the notifications. And if you have missed the previous day, there's always a link where you can go back and watch this video again and again. So stay blessed, and I will see you tomorrow, and God bless and goodbye.